Just coming here for conversation. If I want a conversation, I talk to my neighbors, to my family, to people I meet in the street, hopefully to come here. That is what the Marxists from Canada in 1866.
All property is theft.
So this came into existence as a result of union.
No, it didn't. It came into existence of riots of 1866.
Wait when
it's
I
in a book by
finish.
Joe Ashton, Hyde Park to
Wait
date.
when I finish, then you ask questions. Don't behave like a 3-year-old child.
Content over everything!
Grow
1866
up.
is
Grow
the
up.
magic
This
date.
guy is still stuck to Cold War hysteria. He's 70 years behind it. 70 years behind time, this guy.
I see.
So, what's happened was a very politicized place, and it was so, even the suffragette fought here in the park. Very politicized, was very dynamic, is still very dynamic, because just 3 months ago there was not all this fractionalism, you know, that people just speak to each other, very few speakers left. So you can see that speakers gonna keep on changing according to political events, the mood, and whatever are the needs of the people that suffer the most the consequences of white supremacism, capitalism, slavery, colonialism. You have this kind of terrain that has been destroyed by the ultra-right, not the religious nutcases. The ultra-right came here, he is one of them.
Oh, now into the personal abuse now, okay.
Come here not to have an interesting interchange where people
No, I come here just to be bashed up by you.
Calm down. People grow intellectually by interchange. No, they come here to destroy the only possibility of free entertainment in London. The only possibility of free entertainment is here, and punk like him.
So you see yourself as entertainment, not a political philosopher?
Entertainment, if you like to grow intellectually, it is entertainment.
I see.
If you like to remain 70 years behind time, stuck to the Cold War hysteria, then it's not entertainment, it's utter stupidity. Modernize. We don't live 70 years ago. We live now. We have a problem. Look, I wrote it here. Can you take this? We took it here. White supremacy. Offshot of capital concentration in the West. Because I am against a situation whereby the darkies are treated like dirt, and they are the majority of the world population. And for darkies, I would include China as well.
And what is it called, this YouTube?
All this China bashing has to stop.
I don't know anything about the lights. I'm being dyslexic. I'm not very literate.
Oh, wait, I have to carry on.
About 20 years.
Yes, I am. I make
YouTubes.
my congratulations to you that you have so many subscribers. I didn't realize. I didn't even see you had a Patreon. And my congratulations, you are doing a great job to make sure that London is known as a very tolerant place, and the English also are quite tolerant, otherwise this park and these union batteries that were here since 1866 would have never carried on. This is the result of tolerance. Are you English? You? Well, I'll tell you this. There is only place in the world when you can take a ladder, speak to the crowd, it's only in London, unfortunately. I wish it were in Sweden as well, because after all you have a very good system of provision, you know, health, social services, and education is pretty good. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So you speak good English.
relatively.
Yeah, you speak, if you understand, you speak good English. Yeah. So what brought you to London?
I study here.
Ah, and you too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to move on.
So
Thank you.
I can talk about white supremacy. Okay, white supremacy is a cancer. White supremacy is a cancer. It's a cancer in the world today and in the Speaker's Corner Park as well. White supremacy should have never come into this park, but it did. Why? Because of immigration. All these people from poor countries try to immigrate into Europe. And some of them are refugees. But I would say more than refugee, most of them are, I would say, economic immigrant. And why? Why do you have to bash immigrants when immigrants can come here because the English were there? Because the European colonialists were there. That's why they come here. So you cannot say they should not come because we are first world and don't want to put up with some religious fanatic that bring terrorism and all this kind of overblowing the issues. It's not the fear of terrorism. It is strictly the imposition of power over weaker people, weaker entities that have a hard time to defend themselves, you know. Like in the park. Look what's happening in the park. You will see the Catholic coming here soon. They pray, hours, they pray right there. They're coming. The Protestant Church of England preaching, praying. Only the Muslims have been kicked out.
No, the Muslims won't allow you to talk. I talk in this park regularly, and the Muslims will not let women talk. That's what we object
It's
to.
not true.
And I don't object to foreigners.
You know, it's 30 years. It's 30 years I'm speaking in this park. No one single Muslim didn't allow me to speak because I am a woman.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
you talk about Christianity, they don't
No,
like
I do
it.
not.
What do you talk
I'm a
about?
pagan, I'm of this country. We worship the trees, they're cutting down all the trees. You know, we have a lot of problems of our own. Personally, I fear the neo-Nazis of Europe very, very much. That's why I voted Brexit. Nothing to do with you guys. But they're not letting us speak. On the radio, they won't take our questions. We are against the New World Order, don't you understand? All this is just, they want you to mix with us, then they are putting metal in your body, they put chemtrails, they are fucking up our health.
Do you think I'm not aware?
It's not just about foreigners.
Sorry, do you think I'm not aware of oceans of plastics and the planet of slums? I'm perfectly aware of that.
We are very aware of that.
I'm perfectly aware. And
Please.
No.
my experience, my experience was not as dramatic as yours.
I'm not on the internet. The internet is taking our freedom away, and these phone clones who use phones, they can't talk to you straight up. They just can't. They are not real. You are not real.
Now you are becoming a bit intolerant.
That's why they say like for everything. They're never horrified, they're only devastated. They're never actual, everything's literally, you can hear it.
How did I get
You
my
are
wife
dead.
and I met in a
You don't honor my freedom of speech by coming here and making statements instead of asking questions. So why is she complaining about freedom of speech? If you believe in freedom of speech, try to ask questions on the basis of what I say or on the basis of what I wrote here, and then make up your mind and contradict or agree that is what is good about Speaker's Corner. So, what's happened when I talk about white supremacy, I say that this white supremacy is strictly a death cult. You know what is a death cult? A death cult is when you want to carry out a genocide of another ethnicity, be it Muslim, be Chinese, be Bantu. You know, you don't want to give another ethnicity a chance to have a say in the world. So only the white race has the power and can decide what to do, and the others simply don't have a right of even existing. Never mind about saying whatever are their affliction, not even existing. Concentration of capital in the West is because of colonialism and imperialism. For example, why are they so obsessed against Assad of Syria? Assad of Syria is not a threat to United States, is not a threat to Europe. Assad is simply has been elected and is making sure that Syria stays the way it is, without Western interference and without terrorism. The West interferes in Syria by organizing terror squads called ISIS, Al-Nusrat, the Free Syrian Army. These are all terrorists that have been reduced greatly in number by the by the Russian intervention. But it's still a major problem because, in fact, you have to understand that it is like you chop the head of a snake and then there are so many more snakes, because the snakes are fed, armed, and given armament hardware by the Americans. So obviously, if they are continuously given hardware, they keep on being present. And why United States in particular, with England, with the United States? Because they want to destabilize nations after nations if they create terrorism, if they create ethnic tensions. They will be able to, with these armed tensions, they will be able to seek new foothold in third world countries. New foothold in third world countries, it guarantees them a permanent basis, military basis, a permanent status of leadership in another country. So what's happened is this: since Assad is not a threat whatsoever to United States, they make sure that it becomes a threat by sending all the Islamic fundamentalists and terrorists inside Syria. So, of course, he has to fight back. For example, all this propaganda of Syria having weapons of having chemical, making chemical attacks, it was all a hoax. The same they did with Iraq. Weapons of mass destruction. How much? For 2 years. Bombarding every idiot that believes they are imperialist propaganda. And weapons of mass... Sorry?
Do you support Assad?
No, I don't support Assad. I support the right of Assad to decide for his own people.
I support him because he's killing terrorists.
Are you from Syria?
No, my family are. My family
Well,
and they're
yeah.
all Christians, they all support him.
So virtually, these chemical attacks of Assad, they never existed. It's the same weapon of mass destruction in Iraq. They never existed. This is sheer propaganda of the West to destroy the Middle East.
Why you don't support Assad? He's killing terrorists.
Well, Assad unfortunately doesn't have a good record, you know.
Who does?
Well, I understand, but for me, I don't look the person itself, I look his action. His actions are correct.
Yes, let's support them.
I support his action. Whatever people say is not important. What it matters is what people do, not what people say. Therefore, if you analyze the history of England and the United States, it's a history of blood and subjugation and enslavement of Middle East, of Africa, of India. They couldn't get away with China because China had a revolution. If you want to defend yourself against capitalist gangsters, you need a revolution, you see. But because the situation is very difficult in Syria, Assad has to tighten the grip on freedom of association, freedom of rioting, freedom of demonstration, but because he's under continuous threat by the Anglo and American imperialists. You see, the neocon, the supranational corporation. So this is virtually a difficult situation that will only be resolved if Russia finally wipes off. Now they are in only ad lib. If they are wiped off completely, then finally Assad will be a very democratic leader, will be a very enlightened leader because he went through hell. He was in grave danger of being killed. They made an attempt on his life. They don't tell you because he's. If you say, I had so many attempts against my life, people will think, oh well, that's how we get him off. Don't give any idea. Don't tell that you have been under threat of being killed. Just do your job as a good politician. Make alliances. Politics is strictly alliances. If you want to remain in politics, make alliances even with your enemy. Because somehow, sooner or later, they will find a compromise. Yeah. But you live here now.
I'm born here.
You were born here. So, what do you...
But I know the truth from Syria. I know the whole world media lying, saying Assad a big bad guy, dropping barrel bombs.
Yeah.
Look into it, it's not clear cut, it's not that simple. You know?
Yeah.
But my thinking is very simple. I see Benjamin Netanyahu say he's a bad guy.
Yes.
Maybe he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Quite simple.
Yeah, but you know, the situation in Syria, because it's under constant threat of terrorism with the weapons of United States given to the Saudis, it is, and then the threat of Israel. Israel is continuously violating the airspace of Syria and get away with it because it's backed up by United States. So in a situation like that, obviously it is very dangerous for Syria to take a stronger stance. You know, Syria...
Even Russia, you know, they shot down a plane with 15 Russian soldiers.
Yeah.
And Russia still, they want to talk and play with Israel.
Exactly.
They don't want to do nothing.
Exactly. But what's happening in the world today is that if you are a leader of not a superpower, like Iran, Iran is a very powerful country, has natural gas, oil. Natural gas is more important than oil because of green energy, but because natural gas is not a type of resource like oil that has been created by the collapsing of forest that became charcoal, and then charcoal became oil. Natural gas is the gas that surrounded the world 5 billion years ago and got trapped in the sands of Iran. It got trapped, like the natural gas of Russia was trapped in the ice when the earth was formed. So it is the same gas of the sun that regenerates itself continuously. The sun by now should be as big as a golf ball, but because it continuously regenerates itself, keeps on burning for probably the rest of eternity, no matter what scientist is. Natural gas is the same. It's helium, methane, keeps on regenerating itself. So this is the power of Iran. Iran is very powerful thanks to natural gas. That's why now they are in Iraq, because they are a powerful country. It's not North Korea. It's a very powerful country, and they have a right to have a nuclear plants and a nuclear problem.
But they don't. They don't.
They have the right denied by the U.S.
But they've gone through with the P+5 agreement, the NPT. Iran signed all of this. They agreed to all of this.
Yes.
One country that hasn't, Israel. Israel don't refuse or deny they have nuclear weapons. We know they do. We know they do.
Of course they have nuclear weapons.
He exposed it. He was an Israeli who worked in the nuclear factory, and it was exposed on the papers in Britain.
Yes.
So, what right does Israel have to tell one other country they can't have nukes when they secretly have them themselves?
Yes, exactly. So, what's happened is this. For example, in the case of Iran, Iran has made good alliances with Europe. It's very smart. The politicians, Al-Jayedin was an extremely smart politician. He knew who could be considered allies of his country. So what he did, he came to Europe, to Brussels, and said, look, I am prepared to give you a good deal on my natural gas, green energy, very important, and my oil, but you have to disconnect from U.S. because otherwise we cannot be friends. And the first to say yes, Italy said yes. We want to be friend of Iran through Russia and China, because what's happened now, the natural gas of Iran will definitely come here one way or the other, train, boat, whatever, pipelines. But Europe must be a strong entity, not the bootlicker of United States and the United States. Europe is, especially England.
America's foreign policy is Israel's foreign policy. Look, if you see, every country in Europe is for working with Iran. Three countries, in fact, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Israel. The only three countries that are against Iran in the whole world.
Yes, exactly. So what I'm saying is this: when you have a deal, energy deal, with the country, and United States is threatening of imposing sanction on the EU. Now is threatening EU, we will not buy your things, we will not do any commerce, any trade with you, because you want to make a deal with Iran. So the EU, Italy, went to speak to Putin and said, we want your help because we will pay for the oil and the natural gas with a type of currency that has nothing to do with the dollar, and all the exchange, the transaction will be done through China and through Russia.
They want to go to war with Iran.
Yeah.
You see who they have in their cabinet. They put John Bolton. If you know who John Bolton is, he's the biggest warmonger America has ever seen.
Yes.
And what Trump's supposed to empty the swamp. He's filled the swamp.
Yeah,
But John Bolton,
what is-
Nikki Haley, UN representative, the rhetoric that comes out of this woman's
What
mouth.
is very, very important today is that we have a new world order. Before, just 2 weeks ago, was unipolar world. U.S. dictating to everybody in the planet. Now we have the breakup of European leaders, and it will be a bipolar world, like during the Cold War era, you know, bipolar world. This is very important because when you have a bipolar world, you have a situation where the power is not monolithic. All banks, corporations, all criminal gangsters subduing especially the global south where the majority of the world population lives. You have more democratic transactions. Okay, you give me this, I give you that. In the sense, you give me oil and I give you my allegiance, make a contract for the next 5 years, I will buy your gas, your oil through Russia and China. This is what's happened in the last week. This is only something that has happened in the last week. Do you have any questions? Okay. So I was saying that now we are entering the age of bipolar power world. Bipolar power. EU is telling United States to buzz off. It's telling clearly, buzz off. We want to deal with Iran, and you step aside.
Who do you think is more a threat, Iran or Israel?
Well, Israel is it's just an artificial state, you know.
Oh, really?
It only exists because of the support of United States. It's not really something that you say, well, it's a major power. It is just an offshoot, an appendix, and a derivative of United States power. Is the platform to the oil fields of United States. Of course, it has power because oil is very important.
How much oil have they got in Israel?
You know how much? Why do you
No, I
ask
don't. I'm
questions?
asking this question.
They
How much
don't have
oil
oil.
do they have in Israel?
don't have-
This, why is Israel protecting ISIS near the Golan Heights?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an Israel expert, but I do know they don't have an awful lot of oil in Israel.
I do know they are protecting terrorists near the Golan Heights.
Is it sort of the logic of my enemy's enemy is my friend or something?
No,
I don't know.
no. I'm just saying that Israel is giving support, is a friend of Saudi Arabia. It's all said.
Zionism,
Friend of Saudi
Wahhabism,
Arabia.
Two sides of the
The
same coin.
most backward, reactionary,
Marxist terrorist
obscurantist
show. Marxist.
country
Are
in
you-
the world.
Do you love
Friend
Jeremy
of Saudi
Corbyn?
Arabia.
Yeah, Jeremy
No, you haven't.
Corbyn.
Just
You
looked
have
up,
come
you
here
have no
now, you don't even know what I'm talking about, and you...
Israel.
Yep.
Israel.
Yep.
He just sold.
Israel has very little oil, so
Oh,
no
yes,
point...
thank you.
No
But
point...
you said that
saying-
America is protecting Israel because of its oil interests.
No,
America vetoes
I
everything.
said
Oh, I accept
is
that. I accept that.
Israel
It
is
has
the...
a very large Jewish lobby in America, so you can
No,
understand.
not the very large, the biggest.
Yeah, I accept that. I totally accept. There are more Jews
What
in New
I
York
said
than there
is-
are in
in
Israel.
Israel.
Fine, I accept that.
What I said, calm down a
On the
second.
same basis in America, they're
Don't
so
start a
beholden to the National
conversation.
Rifle Association.
Don't start
because the
a
lobbyists are very
conversation.
powerful.
This is a meeting with a speaker. Don't start conversations, okay? I'm saying Israel is very convenient to the United States as platform to the oil fields in the Gulf region. That's why they maintain
Morris,
Israel.
how's
That's why
what's he doing?
Netanyahu
What's he doing?
and Trump are best
What's he doing?
friends.
Needs to.
With Saudi.
He's in Easton. He was in
Saudi, yes, I would call it the axis
Hang
of
on,
evil.
hang on.
This
Can you
is
send me
the
that
real
photo? I'll tell you
axis
why.
of evil,
I-
not Russia, China, and North
Can you
Korea.
airdrop? Is he in
These are
Is
the,
that no, it's an
the axis of evil.
Do you want you? Can you give me
So,
your
do you have
email?
any question? This guy is from Eastern Europe,
Email him.
Ukraine. Do you have any questions?
What's that? 07.
Okay, look
07
what is
967.
written here. Why do you laugh?
How do I put it?
Why do you laugh? There's nothing to laugh about.
No, you didn't. Cancel.
Where is my white supremacy? I don't know, but you don't know. Of course, it doesn't exist. It's collectivism.
Hang on.
Just get to the beginning.
Did you notice here the last
Hang on.
2 months,
Go
just
to your
2
phone.
months, all these white supremacists coming into the park? White
07
supremacists.
967.
To do what? To confront the Muslims.
585.
That's all they come for. To say that the immigrants are a curse, are a drain on
997.
English economy, and therefore they shouldn't have a right to pray in the park. They should be kicked out. Why do you want to kick out these people praying? When you allow the Christians, you allow the Church of England and others to pray in the park. Why only
You just said it
the
because I'll pass
Islamic
it on to
people
Toad.
cannot pray? Sorry?
Toad hates Morris because
They
Morris
were
got him.
banned from the park to pray. They used to pray inside the park. They were banned. When the other religions are allowed to pray in the park. See? So this is wrong because you know why it is wrong not to allow the Muslim pray in the
His
park.
Alzheimer's really
You know the reason why it's wrong? Because it gives a lot of ammunition to haters to come in the park and dictate their rules and regulations. If you want to ban people praying in the park, ban everybody, the other religion. There are the Buddhist, the Catholic praying there, the Lutheran praying there. Ban everybody. Don't just ban the Islamic people to please the white supremacists. You can't do that. Ban everybody. This giving ammunition to the white supremacists create a climate of distrust, of fear. If we carry on like this, fear, hatred, we end up having white supremacists killing Muslims wherever in London or other places, on the assumption that to kill a Muslim is their national sport. That's where you end up. That's why you should never give ammunition to hatred. White supremacy is hatred. There are 3 horsemen of the apocalypse in the world. White supremacists, capitalism, slavery. These are what destroys the world. Don't give ammunition to hate. Hate is a sentiment.
What are you doing here? You're talking about don't give ammunition to hate, but you're just whining about.
Can you repeat? Because this guy is very loud.
I'm saying, what are you doing? You're talking about hate, so it's kind of like, I'm sorry, but what you say could be right.
I don't spread hate.
I've triggered
I don't
supremacy. One person
spread
talking about white
hate.
supremacy.
I am saying
I just have trigger warnings.
white supremacy is hatred. Because it is so.
And where are you from?
It is hatred.
Where are you from?
It's not important where I'm
It's
from.
very important.
I'm from the world. I'm the voice of the oppressed. I'm the voice of people who, every each one of us has a right to exist. Every each one of us has a right to its own corner. That's what I am. I'm the voice of the oppressed. Are you pleased with that?
You're not the voice of the oppressed.
So what am I? Why do I speak in the park then? Give me your version of fairness and
Because you've had every privilege in life growing up in Italy.
There was a Diane.
what privilege?
Absolute privilege.
Privilege are continuously taken off. Look at huge mass unemployment of young people. That is a privilege that has been removed. Look at the social services collapsing, deteriorating. Look at the national health services. Cuts, housing benefit cuts. Every kind of services that were gained by years and years of class struggles are little by little being destroyed. I don't have privileges because my daughter died only a few months ago. Beautiful girl, tall, beautiful. And you know who killed my daughter? Rent, interest and profit. Rest in peace. Rent, interest and profit. You know why? She had a business, very good business. She was always a trader, born trader, very assertive, in total command. Her business was in an area that the speculator took over and used the area to sell ethnic food. These rent that they paid were 3 times higher than the normal rent. And they imposed on the rest of the community this kind of speculations. My daughter had her own stock. She was dealing in fashion, beautiful hats, you know, very high-class fashion. Because the ethnic food pollution in the area attracted millions of rats like this. I mean, as big as a cat. Her stock got destroyed. For a person that is always in total command, always in charge, that was devastating. She would not ask me money because she was very proud, and she tried to fight back, and she found the shut doors right, left and center. Nothing would hear about her complaint because the lobby of the vendor of ethnic food was much stronger than the lobby of those that sell clothes or other items. And they won. And at the end of the journey, she was so desperate to lose £10,000 for a young person is a lot of money. She was so desperate she didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel, and she thought it's the end of me. It's the end of me. How am I going to survive? Cuts in social services, cuts in health services, cuts in benefits. You know, she thought I will not be able to survive. 30-year-old girl, beautiful, and she hanged herself. So don't tell me that I am a privileged person. No, I suffer day and night thinking of the loss.
But I'm sorry, that's a different subject.
It's not changing subject. This is the society we live in. It's not changing subject. You learn reality through the experience also of other people. Don't be an individualist. Other people have also a lot to show you through their own life experience.
I'm saying to you condolences about that. It's a very sad story, and I commiserate with your loss, but it really has nothing to do with anything.
It has to do.
It's just
Do you think it has? Excuse me. Do you think my example of how much the struggle is in this country through profiteers and speculators? Do you think it's just nothing to do with what is going on in society? Don't play the flute in front of a buffalo. I have to move because it's very noisy here. I will move over there. If you want to hear the rest of the story, I'm moving over there. I moved there because it's very noisy here.
This is the old Corbynite crap as to why socialism is going to work under Corbyn, because it hasn't been tried
from your man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
Give me an example.
Okay, example like gravity.
Yes?
You know, like gravity. Newton believes that gravity is a force that pulls you down.
Okay.
Okay. So that means that when you walk, you're actually pushing the earth behind you. But Einstein comes and tells you that not gravity. Gravity isn't that. It's a force that just
Has the law changed, or has the perception of the scientists changed?
the perception of the
Yes,
science.
yes. We're talking about the laws. The laws are static, except in a situation